Good day everyone, and welcome to Saibal Tech channel. This is my first video and I'll be taking you on the concept of web development. So I'll be explaining the definition of a website, the definition of web development, its types, who is a web developer, and types of web developer. Without further ado, let's move to the topic. Now first, what's a website? A website is a collection of web pages accessible through the internet using a domain name, like example edreka.co. So what this text is trying to say is, website is something you can access through the internet. Let's say I go to my browser and search for Netflix or Facebook. That's a website. Basically, that means I'm going to the website. Now, these are web pages typically written in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. That's mostly the language used to write most web development, and include text, images, videos, forms, and interactive content. So, websites includes text, images, videos, forms, and interactive content. So let's say you just go to the internet and you do not see anything like a blank page. That's my website. Access a website through a web browser. Let me go to my web browser, Google Chrome, and this is an example that you can see: a text, another link, a button, an image. This is like a clear for website. So this is all I think for website. It's accessible through the web browser. Now, this is an image of a website, Netflix. This is the logo, this is the text and images. So this is an example of a website. It includes all the criteria listed. What is web development? Think of web development as creating websites. So let's say I take my laptop, or you take your phone, or you just create a website. That's what web development. Web development is the process of creating and maintaining websites on the internet. It involves everything from building static website pages to complex web application, services, and social network. So creating a web page is web development. That's it. Now, types of web development. So as we know that things have their categories and types, so as web development, and these are the types of web development. These are the three only types of web development: front end, back end, and full stack web development. Front end development. This is solely on what users see and interact on a website. It includes design, button, links, menu, and responsiveness. So if you go to a website, the first thing is maybe image, a text, button, or all those stuff. That's what front end development is. Now let me show you an example. As you can see this website, you can see this is the text. We can actually interact with what we can actually see, what we can actually click on. That's the work of front-end development. Now, back-end development. This is solely the server side that the user don't see. It handles databases, servers, and user authentication. Have you ever wondered when you go to a login page, maybe Netflix, Facebook, or other websites like that, why do you think it authenticates your password? It knows you are the one signing in and all those things. Mostly we do not see it, but it works. So that's the work of back-end development. It deals with servers and all those things. Now, full stack development. This is the combination of both. If you learn front end and back end and you implement you are doing full stack development. Simple. Now, technology used in these categories of web developments. So the technology used are the tools used to achieve each of the following, and they will be listed accordingly. Listing of the technology. Now, front-end development. To master of front-end, you need to know HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So you can add React and Vue to it, and some other languages. The second one is back-end development. So learning back-end, you learn Python, extensions like Django and Flask, PHP, MySQL, etc. So that's it. Now, who is a web developer? A web developer is someone who creates a website or a web page. So say you, me, or anyone else creates a website, the person is a web developer. So that's simply what a web developer is. And we all know from web development there are 3 types: front end, back end, and full stack web developer. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and share. Thank you. Bye.